So you guys want to hear that truth about Kamala Harris? Kamala Harris is a phony who caters to whatever audience is in front of her. I don't know if you saw this, but earlier this week, look up the clip. She went down to Georgia and started talking with a fake Southern accent. I'm serious. Now, what the hell is that all about? Kamala Harris grew up in Canada. They don't talk like that in Vancouver or Quebec or wherever she came from. Doesn't matter. It's the same new liberal policies, but a different accent, whoever she's talking to. Now, on November 5th, she can go back to using her San Francisco accent because we are going to send her packing and we're going to let Donald Trump President of the United States.
And he is defining her. He's saying she's the other, she's exotic, she's a foreigner, she's not like you, she's not a real American. That's what he just said to millions of people today. He is defining her. This was intentional.
I didn't hear him say she wasn't a real American.
Come on, Scott. Is she Indian? Is she black? She doesn't know what she is. She's changing.
And
she's
the argument that we're hearing,
so
J.D. Vance was responding to this tonight. He basically said, oh, she's a chameleon. She moves around in terms of her identity too much.
Yes, it is impossible to overstate the depth of Kamala Harris. Ever since she came in, she has not answered a single question from any media. That is the same way Biden did in 2020, refusing to take questions, no interviews. That is to tell you one thing. But they are the same people agitating every day. Oh, Trump is refusing to debate. Trump is refusing to debate. You know, when situations like this came up, Kamala could not show up. That is to signal something. Now going into this clip of J.D. Vance, that is how it is done. A question surfaced pertaining to the way Trump responded. I was impressed. According to this article, J.D. Vance just humiliated a reporter that was baiting him about Kamala Harris.
The former president's comments yesterday to the National Association of Black Journalists, where he said that Vice President Harris is, quote, all of a sudden black. As a father of 3 biracial children, did those comments give you pause at all?
They don't give me pause at all. Look, all he said is that Kamala Harris is a chameleon. She goes to Georgia 2 days ago. She was raised in Canada. She puts on a fake Southern accent. She is everything to everybody, and she pretends to be somebody different depending on which audience she's in front of. I think it's totally reasonable for the president to call that out, and that's all he did. I mean, look, she's running as a tough-on-crime prosecutor, even though she implemented open border policies. She's saying that she wants to support the police, yet she wanted to defund the police just 3 years ago. It's totally reasonable to call out the fact that she pretends to be somebody different depending on the audience she's talking to.
Yes, these people are doing the right thing. Trump is exposing that Kamala Harris is fake. This is the exact thing he is doing here, and drawing Kamala Harris to talk about policies. That is what this for one. If you see J.D. Vance responding like this, just in a similar tone like Trump, that is to tell you they have calculated it like, okay.
So many missed opportunities when it comes to black people doing the ask from politicians. And we sit back and wonder why we don't got nothing because we don't ask. So how does the National Association of Black Journalists invite Kamala Harris and invite Trump to a pretty much town hall roundtable type discussion? Kamala does not show, doesn't even reply yes. Trump replies yes, he shows up. And instead of the committee taking the time to ask questions to Trump about what his policies are for Black America, what he plans on doing this time around for Black America, and giving him the opportunity to speak his piece, they attacked him. This is exactly what I'm talking about. How was that beneficial? Instead of sitting back saying, hey, last time in 2020, you had something called the Platinum Plan. What is your goal this time? Nope. It started late and then spent 30 minutes trying to get him roused up for clickbait instead of allowing it to be a situation where he can come in and explain his policies and what he thinks he's going to do for the black community to earn the black vote. Another failed, missed opportunity. But yet, we sit around praising these people for what? Doing us an injustice.
This is the best take so far I have seen. I did the first video, but when I saw this guy, what he said on this video is the truth. You can't deny it. The View did something. Sonny Austin, one did the same thing, calling out Nikki Haley, but today she was sitting, calling out Trump for doing this. I want to show you the hypocrisy with these people. They don't even hide it any longer. Take a look at this.
Nikki Haley's gone by Nikki since she was a child. It's documented in high school. I wouldn't be shocked that as an Indian woman growing up in South Carolina at that time, she actually did to avoid prejudice. So I just want to be careful about critiquing her for going by the name she's always
There's some
gone
of
by.
us that can be chameleons and decide not to embrace our ethnicity so that we can pass.
Honey, I don't think that's fair.
Necessary. I think if she leaned into
A ton of people don't go by their color.
Wait, serious. I think to question someone's racial identity, especially him, the bar has fallen so low.
Yeah.
Look, 3 phone calls were made from Schumer and Pelosi. Biden said, I'm in this thing, I'm not leaving. A couple phone calls are made, and all of a sudden he's pushed out. And in 48 hours, all the delegates aren't given a choice of other candidates. They're told, you're going to get behind Kamala.
That's actually not what happened.
Yeah, but where's the other choice?
That's not actually. The other choices decided she was the best choice. That's
But who
what they
decided?
Who's
they?
The delegates did. Who were running.
The delegates
people
did.
Governor Newsom
But the delegates haven't voted yet, guys.
The delegates decided.
But also, I'm saying Newsom said, I'm not going to challenge this.
Yeah.
People decided who would have gone in to challenge, said, no, we're not going to challenge her. We actually think. So that's...
But a lot of people voted for the ticket.
Well, let me just...
Go ahead,
There was
Becky.
another scenario that could have happened here where President Biden could have said, in order to give you a nudge and really make it a decision we're making, I could step down as president and you could step up right now. And she'd be going into an election.
But he didn't want that.
Right, but I'm saying that is actually something that's a little more disenfranchised.
Let me flip it if I could. What if I said, you know what, Trump, you're losing in the polls now, and we have another candidate, and the head of the Republican National Committee and myself and a bunch of others say, you're out, we're just going to instill Nikki Haley now because the polls aren't good.
We had a party that could operate that way.
But that would be awful. But everyone has to accept that would be awful for America.
This is calculated view. It amazes me sometimes when they do this and they forget that we follow them up. It is insane, actually. I'm glad the way this man took them off. They tried to steer him away from Trump, but from his response here, calling out Kamala and the Democrat Party, how they swap in her, it is amazing. I appreciated him for doing this video.
Let's kick things off with